is so difficult. All right, I will just do this. 40 love letters. Dear Dennis, I still think of you. Dear Andre, I saw you kiss her. Haven't looked back. Dear Patrick, you're just too young. Dear Eric, I said horrible things about you. Your teeth are fine. It's the rest of you I don't like. Dear Greg, thank you for the poem. For every single scar. Dear William, I love you. Simple. I like that we will never be we. Dear Jay, the bruises fell off eventually. Dear Michael, I'll never be enough to fill the shoes that will one day stand at your side. Dear Ben, I did read your letters. All of them. Dear Freeman, I'll never stop looking over my shoulder, boots laced, ready to run. Dear John, I'll always love you. You are all there ever was. Dear Derek, there was no one thing. Your everything is impossible. Dear Eddie, we are refracting magnets. We will battle this to the end. Dear Dennis, I still think of you. Dear Ryan, sex under the streetlight was a delicious accident. Dear Kevin, your kiss came too late. My lips were already dancing in the other room with John. Dear Ethan, no. Dear Joseph, I said you were too pretty. They said to try it anyway. They are fools. Dear Avery, you are the definition of unrequited. Dear Skippy, I'm sorry about the whiskey. And the tampon. Sorry I never called you. Dear Nate, until you mocked my smile, I was yours. Dear Mark, I like your wife too much. Is your brother still single? Dear Mitch, you were my biggest mistake. I'm sure that only makes your smile more sinister. Dear Alan, while you poured a Guinness for Patrick, I pictured you bending me over the bar. Dear Graham, I'd swallowed that bullet. Dear Miguel, you said a man never forgets his first redhead. What color are my eyes? Dear Dennis, I still think of you. Dear Francis, I'd have broken you in half. Dear Chris, I'm sorry I stalked you. I try to forget me too. Dear Dex, I can't be with you again. Just accept it. Dear Dr. Matthews, no. I'll have you fired. Again. Dear Aiden, I wrote a poem about you. It's everyone's favorite. I find it trite. Dear Logan, I think I finally stopped wanting you. Dear Cynthia, I was drunk. I thought you were too. Dear Ricky, maybe it was the red dress, or because I was 15. Your brother married my mother on the same day I first touched your cock. Maybe you're still a pervert. Call me. Dear Jeff, I was your biggest mistake. Dear Robert, you are more than beer and vomit. You are more than I could ever put into a poem. Dear Dennis, I still think of you. Dear Dennis, I keep your photos in a box. Each one still in its frame. This one is a persona piece told in the voice of someone else. The backstory, I read an article about this several years ago. I was working in a troupe that was doing a lot of we focused a lot on political issues at the time, and it was basically an almanac. We spent the year writing, and then at the end of the year we had an almanac of poetic voices speaking about public issues. And this is about a man named Charles Chapman, who in 1981 was wrongfully convicted of rape. And he was in prison for nearly 27 years for this crime he didn't commit, and he was released after DNA evidence proved that he was innocent. So this is a persona piece titled Resurrection. Charles Chapman to his accuser. I've been writing this letter for 9,850 days. 9,850 drafts etched into the walls of an 8-by-8 cell. 9,850 yellow stench mornings. How swift they come. The latch, the echo of bars against concrete. Some would lay lilies at my feet. Do you know what happens to a black man in a Texas prison convicted of raping a white woman? I wanted to carve your face in the floor. Get you out from behind my eyelids. That's it. finger twitched on the soft trigger. Boom! You let your rapist go free. Fingered me from the lineup. You had known my face for 13 years, growing up on the same street. Tell me, did you wear lilies in your hair on your wedding day? Because I served more time than any other of the Texas damned. Alibi ignored, skin convicted. But where ethics and justice failed me, I was rescued by science. Still, they say I won my freedom. In a lottery of caged men. Tonight, I will sleep on fresh sheets. My aunt's fluffed pillows. I will eat cheeseburgers on a free tub. I won't know my family or the world around me. Won't recognize my aunt's calloused hands. My father's gravestone. I'll have no history to talk about at dinner parties. No wife's discerning glance. No walk down a daughter's wedding aisle. No resume to employ. The skills I've learned have no place in an office or a library anywhere without plexiglass windows and razor wire. At 47, I'm a blank page. Those who would lay lilies at my feet know there is no resurrection here.